Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Shan Ferdinand. I have Mr. Kerry Ferdinand here.
What's going on, everyone?
Kerry, you want to introduce our special guest?
Listen, I got my man, the Dark Commander here, and my guy, Leon Noir. Now, Leon Noir, he is a staple of Black Lion, so welcome.
Welcome, you guys. We got Royce on the ones and twos.
Yo, yo, yo.
We're here talking Hampton Roads, business, real estate, and everything in between, so let's get into it.
All right, for sure. So today we here on this beautiful Wednesday morning, September 6th. It's 9:24 in the morning. How's everybody feeling?
Yo, why you gotta grip the mic like that?
What you mean?
It's very disturbing.
They can't see me, so it don't matter. They can't see me, so it doesn't matter. Anyway,
All right.
How you feeling, Mr. Ferdinand?
Listen, all is good when I get to walk into these Black Lion offices, the most imitated, never duplicated Black Lion. It's a lot of people out there riding around trying to look like us and talk like us, but can't be us. So I love it.
You know they say imitation is the best form of flattery.
I'm just saying, I enjoy it because by the time they catch up to what we're doing, we on to the next thing.
On to the next.
Yeah, we 10 steps ahead, man. It was just staying, and we got to meet the brand joint. The part one up on YouTube. The man Jordan dropped the dream. He said, we asked him, how do you feel about the fourth quarter? He said, I'm on the next year. If you were about the fourth quarter, you behind.
If you're worried about the fourth quarter, you're already behind. If you're not worried about next year today, if you're not worried about next year, you already behind. And if you're not planning your business five to 10 years out, you're already behind. Because listen, I'm gonna say this and we're gonna move on, but we plan 10 to 15 years out. And if you're not planning 10 to 15 years out, people look at where you are today, but don't see where you're going. So we're planning 10 to 15 years out. So it is what it is, man. You could check our moves and gloat and smile today, but 10, 15 years from now, I'm going to salute and move out and leave you in the dust. I promise you that.
Salute?
Meet.
Salute.
Oh, okay.
And move out.
Meet. We call him Road Runner.
What you
Anyway.
know about Road Runner?
Man, come on, man.
Before your time.
That was prime boomerang.
Meep, meep.
Anyways, Shannon, how you feeling this wonderful Wednesday morning?
I'm well. I'm here. I woke up this morning, with a sound mind and a healthy body. I'm amazing. Life is grand. Life is great. No complaints here.
Okay. They asked me too. I'm doing pretty good.
How you doing, Royce?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Making moves, making things shake. You know what I'm saying? But we woke up today, so
Amen.
that was
Hold
cool.
on, man. Y'all minimizing this whole waking up thing. It's awesome to wake up.
It is. Listen, I said life is grand. I woke
Okay.
up. Not only did I wake up, I woke up with a sound mind.
Yeah,
Facts. Blessed.
Amen.
and wake up insane, man. You ain't getting your hands, knees, and pray today, man. You might want to go ahead and get on your hands, knees, and pray. Think that
Hands
will
and
good.
knees? Well, I guess. Yeah,
I mean,
some hands and knees. All right. I can see
It's
that.
different religions everywhere out. You know what I'm saying? But wherever you reside, just think who you believe in. To wake you up today. Anyways, let's go ahead get into this next joint. Let's go get that breakdown going, Sharon.
Today, we have current events by Mr. Kerry.
One each.
None other. Small business highlight by myself. We got Meet the Brands by Kerry and myself. We're going to do the real estate highlight. We're going to get into the TikTok blind review. Karima sent that link over. And then we got Royce with questions and answers. We answer the questions that you want answered.
We sure do. What utmost factual information from these real estate consultants, man. You know how it goes. But let's go ahead and crack it to Kerry. Your second big dog. Let's go get into that.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Listen, so when we're talking, a lot of times we like to talk about the future. We just talked about it a few seconds ago about the future, right? And where the future is going with technology, AI. So we're talking about coming soon in the drone. That's the headline, right? Mm-hmm. So how many times have you been down to the beach? This is a beach county city, right? Or coastal town, right? So how many times have you been by the beach and you saw a plane fly by with the little advertisement on the back or a marry me thing? You've seen that before, right?
Yeah, maybe once or twice.
Once or twice. You've seen it in the movies at least, right? You seen it? So now somebody, big brain Brad, decides, hey, let's do something a little bit different. Look at the big brain on Brad.
Hey y'all, Carrie showed me that movie. Was it Pulp Fiction? But man, Tarantino, man, I'm stuck, man.
So, what's happening now is there's a company in Miami. They just got authorized to fly their drones for advertising. So now, right, it's crazy, right? So you asked the question earlier, how do you use a drone to advertise? It's the same as a plane. You some kind of way you attach it. You attach the rollout to the drone, and you fly it over the beach. Same way. Now they're saying that it's going to be faster and more effective and safer. There it is. It's going to be faster and safer because there's no actual pilot in there, so we don't have to worry about the pilot. There's no runways, and being that it takes off vertically, it saves time and resources. So,
what happens? Well, these have to be some heavy duty drones.
Listen, I'm not a drone technician, but I feel like technology is upon us, and we should definitely use it. I keep telling people I'm in school now or back in school, and the conversation about AI and Chat GPT and other AI resources, I feel like we talked about it last week where the Hampton professor discussed how it could be used as a learning tool instead of running from it. So this is another situation where AI is taking over and people saying, well, what about these pilots going out of business? I feel like these pilots already understand how to fly, how to navigate, what they navigate. And this is just a good opportunity for them to be safer on the ground, and they could actually jump into this drone market. Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a good opportunity for everybody. So if you're here in the Hampton Roads area, just know that drones are being flown starting in October, November. Drones are starting to be flown in Miami. So why not here in the Hampton Roads area? You don't have to recreate it. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You just gotta copy what's already there. So
I started the class to get the certification to fly a drone. I just never finished it.
I gotta get up with Shane because I gotta do that too.
Yeah, so get FAA qualified, and then there's so many applications with the drone. I feel like that's a good one. All right, so that's that. Second part to the current events. Teachers are usually overworked, underappreciated. So here comes Virginia Beach, the aquarium at Virginia Beach. They came through and told teachers, hey, September 13th, come by, your kids, come by, and we will let you in for free.
Pretty cool.
So this is teachers and what do you call those professionals? I guess
paraprofessionals.
Which one?
Paraprofessionals.
Is that what they call them?
Is that the assistants and stuff?
No, the ones like daycare.
Oh, okay.
So daycare, elementary school, and all the other stuff. So they're allowing them to come in free. You register online. Seems pretty easy. Go online, register, and have fun at the Virginia Aquarium.
Virginia Aquarium is a pretty cool place.
Hey, shout out to Virginia Beach and the aquarium down there because it is pretty awesome. You get your picture taken when you go in. You learn a lot of stuff, and it's cool, it's interactive, and it's a lot to learn out there, and it's a lot of stuff that you actually learn about right there in the environment in Virginia Beach. So it's a great place to hang out, great for the kids, and I think this is something awesome because we don't give enough respect or we don't give a lot back to teachers. So
yeah,
I always consider teachers and nurses being God's angels on earth.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like how they're trying to keep the teachers safe by running clear book bags.
That was out of the blue. What I think about it,
a little bit.
I think it's unfortunate that we even have to have the conversation about it. I think that teachers are overworked and underpaid. I think that we should definitely want to keep our teachers safe, and we should definitely hold our kids and our parents responsible for the education of our children. It's a shame that in your workplace you have to worry about what's coming to school, this, that, and the third. I don't particularly care for clear book bags, but if it's what we have to do to keep the teachers safe, I support the teachers. All day, every day.
Definitely. Shane, how you feel about them?
I don't have any issues with them. I don't remember if it was high school or middle school, but at one point in my school career, I had to carry a clear book bag. I don't have an issue with it. You know, it kind of cuts back on the need to do random searches, because we had random searches when I was in high
Yes.
school. They would pick a kid out the class and randomly search their bag. You know, you don't have to do that when you can just see straight through the backpack. So
Yeah, because
And the unfortunate thing about that is it comes down to the area that you live in or what school you go to. I never went through any of that.
yeah.
The only time your locker or something got searched is because they thought they had something, and chances are when they thought they had it, it was like a 80% chance that you did. So
No, we had random searches. It wasn't daily. You know, every now and again, the security officers would come into random classrooms and pick 3 random students and, you know, search their bags. I got, out of my 4 years in high school, I was searched one time, and then they did random locker searches, but they never found anything.
and again, that's also weird because I like actually having security. I remember when I was younger watching certain movies and seeing security guards in school with metal detectors. That was wild to me, but
It happens.
it happens, but it's unfortunate it has to happen. And then a deeper question and a social question is what's really happening to make children feel so unsafe, or to make them feel like it's cool to carry a legal substance or illegal weapons to school. That's crazy to me, and I think that's a deeper discussion. But to answer the question, I think anything to keep the teacher safe today, I'm with.
Yeah, my sister is a teacher. Shout out to my sister. Hey, Run Run. She's a teacher.
You call it Riri?
I call her Run Run. Shout out to my sister. I tip my hat off to you. You have a job on your hands, homie. But good job to all the teachers out there, y'all. Y'all have your work cut out for you.
yeah, definitely, man. Because I was looking at it, I was like, I saw a lot of kids. Like we saw the kids like driving up here. I was like, dang, they gotta wear a clear book bag. And I was like, a little sad, you know, that we're in a world where it's like that. But you know,
It's unfortunate.
gotta keep them safe. I think after that kid, you know, did that little thing last year. I think that's where it really said.
That's where it started. Because usually it wasn't. It's a new thing to see elementary school students with clear book bags. I've never seen that, but like you said, it stemmed from the incident over at the elementary school where the teacher got shot.
But again, socially, we can't fix that incident, but socially, what happened to where that child felt the need, or where was the conflict resolution? And I know as a minor, they don't really talk about conflict resolution, but where was all that at? What was she in that situation? But what are our kids being taught about conflict resolution? You know what I'm saying? Problem solving, all the other stuff. Why did it come down? Back in the day, they used to say it's the TV. Then they said it's the video games. They said it was this, that, and the third. But there's something happening to where our youth, or a certain demographic in certain areas, feel that there's a need to act the way they act.
It's unfortunate because this young man was 6. He was 6 years old.
Yeah.
At that age, even I can't fathom a child at 6 needing to protect himself from something or needing to carry. I don't understand. And I think that, you know, you said that, you know, back in the day, they blamed a lot of the behavior on TV. I personally think that everything starts at home. You can control your children, but so much. You can't control, you know, what they get into or what they look at when they're not in the house, but you can instill certain values in your child. Like I said, I believe it starts at home. The education, behavior, respect, all of that starts at home. So, I blame the parents.
And so I came up in a certain era, right? I don't want to blame parents because I know for a fact my parents led me a certain direction. And I know for a fact that I chose to go a different direction.
You didn't carry a gun to school either.
I chose to go a different direction. I chose to go a different direction because I thought it was cool, or I thought my parents didn't know what they were talking about, or there was a rule it was an unspoken rule that once I leave the house, I could do whatever I want because I'm gonna get in trouble when I get home regardless, right? So if you punish me, say, for what I did in school on Monday, you still gotta let me go to school the rest of the week. Now, if I come home, this, that, and the third, that was on me. So yeah, there's a certain point where what you're taught and what you need to experience kick in.
Yeah, but this
So
child
what I'm
was
saying is
6.
So I was fortunate that I had my mother and father in the house. I know a lot of people don't. I know that there was typically somebody home. There were gaps of time where both parents weren't home, but for the most part, I had both my parents in the house, so I was able to come home and, my mother or my father guided it, this, that, and the third. But I don't think it's fair to always say it is the parents' fault. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer had both his parents.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was.
But at 6, I believe it. Six. Once you reach a certain age, you start to test your limits. But at 6,
so let's talk about it, right? So, at 6 years old, I don't know the child. I don't know what he grew up in. So I'm just going to talk about general circumstances, right? General circumstances. If he has a single mother, let's say she's in healthcare. Right, she's probably out of the house for at least 14 to 20 hours out of the day. Right. So back when I was coming up, I'm Generation X, so we were called the latchkey kids. That's the amount of time that we had. Right. So there's a lot of time between your parents coming home to the time you had to do whatever you was going to do. So whatever he or these children are getting into in those time frames, single parent house, mother, father, whoever has that child, they still have a job and a responsibility to earn money to take care of that child. So
I agree.
I don't want to say it's completely on the parents. I think the parents, so socially speaking, you have the parents and you have the environment. So the parent can only deal with what's going on from the time they walk through that door. But once they leave that door, it's a whole new world.
Well, I just want to say that I was afraid of my parents. Okay, Wanda and Zani didn't play, and I was afraid that they would kill me. I'm not gonna say afraid. I had a reverence for like a healthy, respectful fear of my parents. And listen, I don't know that these kids nowadays have that.
So I refuse to give up on, like, I don't like framing it like that. Just like I frame it that all black men don't go to jail. You know what I mean? All black men aren't uneducated, or they're not. Black men aren't educated. I don't want to frame to say that there are no good black men out there for women in dating. I don't want to frame that because that's not the truth, and we need the outlets to say that it's not the truth. So I don't want to say that his mother or his parents failed him. I don't want to say the environment. We could all agree that something went wrong, and to sit up there and say, "Hey, I'm gonna point at you." I don't want to do that because we don't use that same energy when it comes from other demographics, and I don't want to frame a certain demographic a certain way. That's like me sitting here saying that all Jewish people are stingy and all Asian people are good at math. I think it's fair to say that as a society, we all have problems.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's something going on in this society that makes us want to do certain things and react certain ways. And it's funny that when it gets down to certain what's the word when it's economics and
socioeconomic
socioeconomic groups, they are definitely more vulnerable to certain things
I agree
than
with
others.
that.
So
Well, I think that
maybe that is where we need to really take a look.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I never lumped everyone in the same
No, not saying
category,
you
but
did,
just,
but I don't
yeah.
want to do that generally to a certain group of people because it's unfair.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, man, but definitely, it definitely starts at the crib. Definitely starts at the home. Where, I mean, it starts at the home, but then it kind of fuses out into what they watch. Because YouTube, definitely, you can watch anything on YouTube. If it's not age restricted, you can watch
Or
it.
on Twitter. Listen, Twitter is completely uncensored.
Boom.
If you want to see anything, you go to Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I also think it's so
can see-
when we say it's the home life, right?
Yeah.
I think an engaged household, not just parents, but an engaged household, aunts, uncles,
Right.
that sort of thing. Because
It takes a village.
right, so because when you keep a child busy, right, like you got them in sports, you got them this that they don't. I know that when I would say engage in sports, I was more concerned about the sport. So when I went online to look at something, I was looking at the sport.
Like my dad used to say, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. You got to keep them
Facts.
busy.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
And I mean, you let them out in the streets, they're gonna find street stuff to do, and they're gonna look at that sort of stuff online. So I think, to your point, you can mold a child to go a certain direction from home, because you make it cool at home to say, let's go pop the hood on the car and work on
Right.
the car. Let's go play baseball, throw the ball around. Let's go play football. Let's go sit down and read, and let's talk about what you read, because how cool was that you read that entire book? I think there's different ways to reinforce certain behavior, definitely, and that starts at home.
Absolutely.
Definitely. But go ahead. Let's go ahead back on track a little bit. Let's go ahead and get into that small business highlight. Talk to us about it, Shan.
So I went to Arroy Thai Cuisine this past week. They served delicious Thai food. I had pad Thai. I wasn't too crazy about the pad Thai, but the other ladies that I went with, they loved their food. It's a small business. I didn't even know this place was there. And it seems like the little mom and pop restaurants are the best restaurants. But this place is off of Colony Road and Warwick and Newport News. Good food. It was a nice atmosphere, small little restaurant, but still nice. And service was great. Our waiter was extremely friendly, extremely helpful. Had a good time. Y'all go check it out.
Definitely. So, what do you feel like was the best thing there? Like, was it the scene, like this? What do you call it? The scenery or the ambiance? The ambiance, or was it the waiters, or was it the drinks?
I only had water.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, water, cool little drink. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
had some diet water, so
Need to figure right.
The service was great though.
Okay.
The service was really good. The food came out quickly. It was hot. The waiter was, like I say, he was extremely helpful. Yeah, great service.
Okay, so if you had to base the whole restaurant 1 out of 10,
I would give it probably a 7.
okay.
So where did it fall short?
Like I said, I didn't like my pad Thai. I've had better pad
Now, you know,
Thai.
that's a big part of a restaurant is the food.
Yeah, but everybody else said that their food was good. So
Okay.
it might have just been mine. Everybody else said theirs was delicious. Somebody had the spring rolls, and there was fried rice, crab fried rice, and I think it was just mine. So yeah, I give it a 7. Maybe if I go back and try the pad Thai again. And I also had pad Thai typically comes with like crushed peanut. I didn't want the crushed peanut, so that might have played a part in why it didn't taste as good as it should have.
What is pad Thai?
It's a noodle and chicken and a spicy sauce. And there's like a peanut sauce in it.
Okay.
It's good.
All right. But I mean, who would you recommend it to? Like, okay, so
That's a good question.
yeah, so say I'm a tourist, right? I come from New York. I come down here to Newport News. I'm like, oh, where's somewhere good to eat? Who would you recommend it to?
Well, I don't think everybody is they like Thai cuisine.
Yeah, I mean.
So I would ask them if they're into Thai. Then I would recommend that to them. But Thai, I think, is kind of acquired, maybe.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
I would recommend it to Carrie.
Carrie, recommendation.
That's what's up.
I feel it. All right, so let's go ahead.
No, listen. She did that because I don't try a lot of new stuff, or so
He
people
does not.
believe. So I'm not a big Thai guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big Thai person. So, man, I'm not. I'm more open to checking out mom and pop small businesses, regardless of what it is, than going to a franchise.
Carrie, fried
So
chicken.
another on a flip note, because I believe small business build your community, and that's what makes your community special. So I really love, even in town or out of town, I prefer to go to smaller restaurants.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm quick to try something new. Carrie will be like, I'll try something new very quickly.
Listen, bro, if it's still moving, I ain't.
Okay, how can we call him an adventure capitalist if he doesn't like to try nothing new?
Look, and they have all 5 stars, 42 Google reviews.
Okay.
Well, they have 4.9.
They looking like Black Lion a little bit.
Exactly. You know
Yeah,
what I
I mean.
mean?
But you know us.
Yeah,
We got
man.
the 4.9 too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Anyway,
Look at you! Look at you being up on your stats.
You know what I'm saying? They got the stat. Where can we find this Thai Queen spot in Newport News?
This is 70 Colony Road is on the corner of Warwick and Colony Road. Right near the it's actually right across the street from the International Market.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. About Denzel just now. Let's go ahead and crack into that Meet the Brand. What we got going on today? We got that National Sickle Cell Month today. First of all,
month.
I mean, yeah, National Sickle Cell Month. That's what it is this month. Month of September is National Sickle Cell Awareness. Let's get a little freshener on what is sickle cell.
So, sickle cell is an inherited blood disorder in which your red blood cells may become sickle shaped and harden. And so sometimes they clog or get stuck in your veins and arteries, and it causes what they call crisis. And the crisis is crises, plural of crisis. From what I hear and what I read, they're very painful. For a baby to be born with sickle cell, both parents must carry a sickle cell trait or genes for another hemoglobin like HBC, HBE, or a beta thalassemia. Sickle cell disease is not contagious, and there is no universal cure. Interesting fact, I carry the sickle cell trait, and I learned when I was pregnant with my son that I carried the sickle cell trait. And so if you have 4 children, 2 African Americans have, because it's a issue found primarily in African Americans and people of color. If you have 4 children, if one of the parents carry the sickle cell trait, you have 4 children, it's very likely that one of those 4 children will carry the sickle cell trait. If you have 2 parents that carry the trait, then one or more of your children will likely be born with sickle cell disease. About 1 in 13 African Americans carry the sickle cell trait, and many don't know they have it. About 100,000 people in the U.S. have sickle cell trait. About 2,000 babies are born with sickle cell disease annually. On average, the diagnosis is made at birth. People of many ethnic backgrounds can carry sickle cell, and Latinas have the second most common incidence in the U.S. And I did not know that until we watched a movie. What movie was that we watched?
Sicario, no playing.
Where the young man, Latino man.
Oh, that was just Transformers.
Yeah, Transformers. He had sickle cell disease, and I thought it was just an African American disease, you know. But I learned that the other day.
So just tapping in, what's funny about sickle cell is an actual helpful mutation to malaria. So what's interesting about that is the human body is interested in it. So the body created sickle cell to prevent malaria, and is designed for people in warmer climates, close to the water where there's a lot of mosquitoes and malaria, right? So what happens when the world gets smaller and we start traveling more? We take that with us, right? So the reason why is mostly in number one, the African American population, and then the Latino population is because of the demographic of where the ancestors come from. So that's interesting because it takes thousands of years for the body to mutate and turn into something. Now, I guess with you bringing this up, I guess we're talking about why are we talking about sickle cell and why is that so important in the month of September? Because I know it's sickle cell month, but why did you feel the need to bring this up?
Well, there's not enough research around sickle cell, and unfortunately, the sickle cell community is health-wise, they're an underserved community, and so we need people to donate. As many people to donate to the Sickle Cell Foundation so that they can research and find treatments for people who do suffer from sickle cell disease, because there's no cure. And my understanding is that there are very few treatments for sickle cell.
So I know that I have quite a few people that I know with the trait, and I know that sometimes, like when they go into crisis and that sort of thing, that could be a scary moment because depending on where they are, that's life threatening. So it's very important because we talk, and I think we talked about this because we talked about breast cancer. Everybody wants to talk about breast cancer, and that's great. And that's one of those mainstream things like, hey, breast cancer month, let's attack it. But we don't really find a lot of people that want to really attack sickle cell. And it's for a certain community, a certain demographic that tends to go unnoticed. And I feel like that sickle cell has always been a charitable organization, or sickle cell organizations has always been something that I will give money to in a heartbeat because I understand the impact, because I see the impact around me. And I know it's tough when you don't see the impact, but when you have family, friends, people you call brother and sister with the trait, or see them, or even hearing about them going in crisis, or to listen about how intentional they have to be when it comes to cold condition, rainy conditions, and that sort of thing, and to see them and their moods and all the other stuff change because their body hurts, and their quality of life and how it could suffer. It touches you when you see it. So definitely, if you have a moment, definitely dig in your pockets, volunteer, do whatever you can to really give back, especially if you are within our community.
Absolutely. And what you can do, you can donate blood to support transfusions, because oftentimes people who have sickle cell disease, when they do go into crisis, they do need blood transfusions.
So here's a question on that. So, and I don't know if you know the answer, so I'm not putting you on the spot.
Okay.
But
I'll tell you if I don't know.
Okay. So when I give blood to the Red Cross, that doesn't go to any sickle cell. That's just for the Red Cross and Red Cross purposes only, correct?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That I don't know. I think that you can, I don't know. I'll have to research that. Okay. We can advocate for better treatment, education, and research. We can educate others about sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait, because a lot of people are uneducated when it comes to sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait. You can get tested for the sickle cell trait if you're of African descent and do not know your status. Like I said, I was randomly, when when you're pregnant, they give you, various DNA and tests for different diseases. And yeah. And so they tested me for the trait, and that's how I found out I carry it. If I hadn't done that, I probably still wouldn't know today. And support SCDAA as well as we search for a universal cure. If you want to learn more and or donate, you can go to the sicklecellfoundation.org or www.sicklecelldisease.org.
Okay.
And this is Sickle Cell Month, National Sickle Cell Awareness Month.
Okay, month of September, Sickle Cell Awareness Month.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's cool. Now, next, we got this next thing from Shan. Shan put it, it's a little video. So Shan, what is this video about?
So this is our real estate highlight. I found this great video that features Don Peebles. If you don't know
So
who
if
Don
you
Peebles
don't know
is,
who Don Peebles is, and you're in real estate, and you are in our demographic, and you're in real estate, and you don't know who Don Peebles is, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but you need to open up a book. You need to go look at his old interviews. You need to really research him. This is a this guy is breaking through a lot of ceilings, glass ceilings, and he's definitely paving the way for real estate and what we can accomplish in real estate.
a lot of people like to call themselves real estate gurus or real estate moguls. This is the real estate mogul here. And so there's been a lot of talk around the market about the lack of inventory or the shortage of inventory. And so here Don Peebles is let me backtrack. There's been a lot of talk about the shortage of inventory as well as people working remotely. And with people working remotely, that means a lot of these commercial buildings are not being put to use. They're vacant. And so here Don Peebles is talking about the opportunity to convert these commercial buildings into residential buildings to kind of alleviate the issue that we have with the lack of inventory, the lack of residential property to get people into houses or places to live. It's a 6-minute video, but we can cut through about half of it and skip straight to Mr. Peebles' segment.
Okay.
And again, think of Don Peebles like the Warren Buffett of his field. So Don Peebles is a monster. So even if you read his book, I forgot the name of his book, or one of his books, he even puts out a lot of game about how he accomplished and what he did, and he even gives you the strategies in the book on how he did and how he put some deals together, some of his landmark deals. So definitely look into the book. I'm sorry. Let's go. Let's hit this.
All right.
COVID and then these rising interest rates have constrained new development. And so you have a combination of those two factors severely restricting supply. And that's the biggest thing that's driving the market. People need a place to live, but major markets around the U.S. have significant housing shortages. Where we also are seeing a big change in the market is where we are in terms of commercial office space. There was a sense of optimism last year, the year before, that as COVID wore off and people got back to their lives, that people would come back into work. There's been a lot of resistance to that. Technologies enable us to do a lot more remotely. And so if you look at the top 10 U.S. markets in the country, 52% of the office space is vacant.
That's a lot of office space.
1 in 5 buildings are vacant and unoccupied. So the question is that what do you do with that space? Because these markets have relied upon people coming into the market each day to go to work and then consuming products and services from the businesses in those locations, like Manhattan, for example. And so there's a big shift now, a big focus on can we convert a lot of those empty office spaces into residential use and address the severe inventory shortage in the marketplace.
There's a story in the Wall Street Journal today that says the good news is firms are actually signing.
So Sharon, so how does that affect the real estate market?
So for investors who want to get into the market, experienced investors, I'm stumbling over my words today. Experienced investors, you can easily buy these commercial buildings. He said 52% of commercial buildings are vacant. That's a lot of commercial space that can be converted into residential property. And like I said, that can kind of alleviate the issue that we're having with a lack of residential property or residential inventory. And so 2 things. One, for people who want to buy houses, keep your eyes on the market, keep your eyes on these commercial places. And 2, for investors, hop on those commercial properties and build you some residential
clearance.
The only thing I would caution is the zoning and how that would work, because you have the residential, straight residential, your house, your multi-family houses, that sort of thing. But then if you're talking about changing a commercial space into a apartment type complex, then those are some things that you have to really get with the city about as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So I would say a good example of this is the city of Richmond. We talked about it, where the city of Richmond and other industrial cities have taken warehousing districts, and instead of demolishing the building, what they did is they turned around and they repurposed them, rezoned them, and turned them into living spaces. People like that sort of thing. The industrial modern look with the concrete floors and the concrete walls and great slabs of building. It makes a lot of sense, especially instead of tearing stuff down and just repurposing. Makes sense.
It does.
I've been saying for the last 2 years that purchasing commercial space and repurposing or reimagining the space is definitely an idea, because there's certain things that you don't want to do in your home, right? I know for me, if I had a beauty salon, or I did hair and nails out of my house, A, I don't want the smell there.
Right.
B, I don't want all my clients know where I stay at, because that becomes a risk, right? And it could disrupt your lifestyle too.
Absolutely.
So definitely get a space. I paused like that because we have rental space available in the next few months.
Yeah.
Beauty on Lock, one of our sister businesses, Beauty on Lock. We will have space available coming soon. So just something like that, to where you make the space available for smaller brands to come in. So we have a co-working space.
Are you talking about the mixed use buildings?
So I'm talking about any type of commercial building that you could repurpose. It's just reimagining it. Because, for example, where we're at, we were typically a retail type strip mall. And we've had people here that repurpose these suites. Instead of making them retail or traditional retail, you have people here that we have a beauty salon that rents booths. Instead of an actual beauty salon where it's one beautician or master barber that's in charge of everybody, we have booth space for entrepreneurs. We have a co-working space, again, your executive co-working space for people to come and set their small businesses up. We have we have an event space. So for you to throw your events, we have a real estate company and we have a dentist, and that's all in one space. And I think the fact that these owners were able to come in and repurpose was actually pretty smart.
Yeah. And I think it's a great idea to purchase some commercial, if you can. So you mentioned Richmond as an example. If Richmond can do it, if the investors or builders or whoever repurpose the warehouse district, if they can do it, it's definitely possible. It just takes some research, planning, being strategic. But remote work has changed the landscape of real estate and the economy, like across the board. I was reading the other day where Biden announced that the federal employees would have to go back to work because of what Don People mentioned. The buildings weren't being used, which means that people weren't going to lunch. They weren't shopping on their lunch break. They weren't spending money. And I mean, that affects the economy. There's so many things that affect the economy, including this, that I think that if we put people, residential buildings or residential units in these former commercial buildings near the restaurants, near the shopping malls, we might see an increase in activity, and it'll kind of boost the community. But I'm not a economist, so.
Makes sense.
Not an economist, man. That's definitely some good knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Definitely some good knowledge. There's some gems in there, man. So let's go straight into this TikTok blind review. Oh my goodness. All right, so We got people in
Pick
the
one,
line.
Royce. Just pick one.
You want me to pick one?
Pick
Eeny,
one.
meeny, miny, mo.
Okay. What we go pick?
Catch a tiger by its though.
Why doesn't that stop? Yeah, I'm gonna skip through this because I'm gonna just get this up real quick. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, I see the link.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that?
Right where you clicking at.
There we go. All right, cool. We can start here.
And the sound is right there.
All right, here we go. All right, 3, 2, 1.
On average, a real estate agent, their first years, they're not going to make money in probably till their 8th or 9th month. So their first year, they're probably going to make less than $20,000, $30,000 if they figure it out. 88% of all real estate agents quit within 2 years. So it's a really high fail rate. And the main reason for that is because how are you going to pay your bills for the first 8, 9 months that you're trying to become a real estate agent and you're not getting paid? So unless you have a trust fund, big savings account, or a sugar daddy, it's just hard to survive. You know, we've created systems to where our agents are closing deals within 90 days. We speed up the process with training, with opportunities, because there's a process. And if you leverage that process, then you can make money quickly. So our first year agents are making somewhere between $60,000 and $90,000 in their first year. That's really good money for a first year of anything.
All right, so how do y'all feel? Okay, first of all, say, how do y'all feel about that TikTok in general? Do y'all feel he was giving good knowledge and like it was easy to understand?
I'm a person that if I look at an educational TikTok, I or an educational anything, I'm looking for what can I pull from it and apply to my life. Like I just feel like he was giving information. That's it. Just giving information. Like Carrie says, what was the so what?
The so what is, I'm pretty sure below in the link he was selling you something or trying to get you to sign up for either his course or his company.
Probably.
Or his sign on to his team.
Yeah, you're right.
Because it's go ahead, I'll let you finish.
No, that was it. What was the so what? I wasn't looking for a link, but it did sound like it was leading into purchase my course and I'll teach you how to make X amount of dollars in your first year as a real estate agent. And so it was likely a sales ad.
So what if you're asking what I think about it?
Of the TikTok.
The TikTok in general, I think that what he said at the beginning was honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was an honest assessment. I don't know about his numbers, but he's right. A lot of I know it's over half. I don't know if it's 88%. Is that what I don't know if that's what he said, but
He
I
said
know
88%.
88%. I know it's more than half that don't make it through their first 2 years. That's something I've said where in the Hampton Roads area, there's over 12,000 agents. At any given time, 12,000 active agents, but out of 12,000, 6,000 don't sell a property over a course of 12 months. So I think that was honest.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you feel about? Okay, so his title was how much money do real estate agents make in the first year? What for a first year agent? How much do you think they should look into the first year? How much do you think they should look into making? Like, if you had to give them a comfortable number, how much do you think they can make in their first year?
They can make as much as they want.
Yeah.
It just depends on the work that they put into it. You know, I mean, the average agent makes X amount of dollars in there, or the average agent closes the first deal within 9 months. But you don't have to be an average agent. You know, you can be an above average agent. It's up to that agent as to how much work they want to put into it, how much money they want to make. So I really couldn't put a number on it.
So the question is, do you have the dog in you?
Right.
Because if you got the dog in you, it's no telling how much you can make, right? Now, if you know what? Let me answer the question because you said the average agent.
Yeah.
The average agent is probably lucky if they make 20,000. Now the one with the dog in them, they're gonna eat. Period.
The 80-20 rule, you know, it applies to real estate. 20% of the agents do 80% of the work. Now, are you going to be in that 20%? You know, it's like Carrie said, if you got the dog in you, you know.
Roof, you know, you go eat.
Right. So I would say this. As an agent, as a sales agent, I had a dog in me, and in my first year, I would have made somewhere around 70,000. That said, being on the other side, being a broker, seeing different people come in and out of the company or in and out of the industry, there are people that have an expectation that because they have an R behind their name all of a sudden, or because they are a real estate agent, that they should just make 80 to 90,000 just jumping out the door with zero exposure, zero exposure, zero relationships made, and without telling anybody anything about what they do. They believe that they're going to make it, and I've seen a lot of people ran out of the business because of that. Something he did say was about systems and processes. But here's the thing about systems and processes. You could have all the systems and processes you want, but if you don't have the dog in you, you're not going to use those systems and processes. Exactly. So it still comes back to your personality and having that dog in you. Because I could have the best system, I could have the best process.
Yeah, not going to use those systems.
Right. I could tell you that, and I'm probably speaking to a lot of brokers' hearts when I say this. We put money into systems and processes that the majority of agents are not going to use. And they start asking the questions, well, why am I not successful? Because you are not using what's given to you. So it's about having the dog in you, about having a great mindset and wanting to achieve. So that being said, what he said is great, but it's the culture. I think a lot of people miss the culture of the dog, you know what I'm saying, or one to eat. Jordan came up with a great analogy. We use it in our business. When our agents cap, we turn their riders red, because that means you out there killing it. You out there eating. Lions eat.
You eat what you kill.
Yeah, you eat what you kill in this business. So lions eat what they kill. So just looking up there at the sign, you know, we know who in our company is killing it and who's just walking around waiting to get fed.
And listen, don't get it twisted. You know, a lot of people came into real estate these last couple of years because
when it was good,
and things are slowing down, and a lot of people are leaving the industry. Real estate is not easy. It is not easy. We had an upswing in the market, kind of made things a little easy, but you know, you find out who's who when the market slows down. So how many agents? 600,000 agents are leaving the industry.
Oh yeah.
Exodus.
Yeah, big exodus.
The real estate exodus.
Yeah, because they got in to make a couple dollars. They made their money, and now they're out because it's not as easy as they thought it would be.
And that's the unfortunate part, because they're not getting the experience, because anybody could sell. I mean, it's like any economy. Anybody could sell when the economy is good. Any business looks good when the economy is going well, because it's easy to hide your faults or the holes in your business when the economy is well, because everybody's spending money. The true mark of any good business is, what does that business look like during a recession or when the market slows down? Now that speaks volumes about your business. Do you have the lasting power when the tide is high? Everybody could get on the boat. When the tide is low, who can fish?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Who could get out there and get it? So, and I don't wish any bad on anybody, but how did you plan when everything was going well? Now you got to have the dog in you when things aren't going well.
Keep
and
pushing.
now, I mean, there's different types of lions out there, right? You got the healthy lion, beautiful mane out there killing it with the pride, right? But then you also, everybody's seen the skit, because every Leo season, they got that one picture that make emaciated lion walking around there with the ribs showing. You know what I'm saying? It looked bad, like he got beat up a couple of times. Listen,
Which one are you?
Yeah, which one are you?
Yeah,
So
everybody. So I feel like what do you say for first year agents is gonna be their hardest milestone, like their hardest hump to get over, their hardest hill, like, and how did you get over it? Because I mean, if you telling them what's their hardest, apparently you went through it and you know how it is. So what is going to be their hardest hump that you went through?
Getting that first client. Getting the first client is the most difficult because people don't know you as an agent. People don't know you sell houses. They just don't know you. They know you as what you were doing prior, and convincing people, hey, I'm competent at this. I can do this. Let me sell you a house, or let me sell your house. So getting that first client is the most difficult part.
For me, I mean, Shan said a lot. That's definitely a big one. Even Grant Cardone says that you might have the great services, you might have the best tools, but come on, man, nobody knows you.
Right? You got to get people to trust you, like you, and there's a third one, but
So for me, it's about mindset. You said what did I do to overcome? When I came in the industry, I was in the military, and I knew this is something that I was going to do once I got out of the military. And I never wanted to be in a business where I don't succeed. So for me, it was mindset. And so I was the agent that it took 8 months to get there, but my fourth quarter was beautiful. That's why I said but it took the work from my first 3 quarters to take me not only into that fourth quarter, but into the following year. So and you got to think the amount of work that I did came to mindset. So mindset and then discipline. So a lot of people get motivation and discipline mixed up. It's a weird thing. People look at motivation like motivation is the thing that's going to make you lose 30, 40, 50 pounds. No, motivation is what made you start.
Right.
Discipline is what makes you continue, right? Because you have to continue that trend. You have to keep waking up every morning at a certain time to go put in the work. So for me, the motivation was definitely earning money because I didn't know how I was retiring at the time. So it was definitely money motivated, but then it was the discipline to come home every day after work, cold calling, get hung up on cold calling, going out to interviews, doing that sort of thing, getting doors closed in my face. I mean, I did all that first year agent stuff that they talk about with the cold calling, the door knocking, desk duty.
It's not easy.
I did all that stuff. So mindset and discipline, those are the two things. I think the motivation is what got me up to make me want to do it, and the discipline kept me going the days I didn't want to do it. Like, man, I don't want to do this. However, this is the time I set aside and just did it.
You gotta have that motivation to keep going after hearing all those no's. Because let me tell you, my first listing appointment, it went horribly. And if you're a person who can't take rejection, then real estate is not the industry for you, because I think that you'll be rejected more. You'll get more no's than you get yeses, but you got to have that motivation to keep going and understand that although these 7 people said no, there's going to be one yes.
So real quick, that's where we differ at, right? Mm-hmm. Because remember I said motivation is what gets you started. Mm-hmm. Discipline is what keeps you going, right? Mm-hmm. So the discipline is, regardless, I'm going to make my 30 calls. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't care about how many no's I get, or even for that matter, how many yeses I get. I'm going to make my 30 calls, regardless, right? Now, after getting hung up on this, that, and the third, the motivation the next day is to do it again, right? But the discipline is actually that
keep
time
going.
That time that you put aside. I'm going to do my 30. It's like going to the gym. I'm going to do my reps. I'm going to keep doing my reps.
Regardless of what happens.
Regardless of what happens. The motivation is what started you down that path.
For me, is the motivation to keep me going, because I got to keep the why am I doing this?
So let me ask you
I got to
this.
keep that before me.
So the question is, because sometimes we hit our goals, right? Mm-hmm. what happens when you hit your goal? Because now that motive, right? But that motivation, what's the motivation? So that's why I said, to me, it's the discipline. But and again, this is just two different ways of looking at it. For me, it's definitely about the discipline, like coming into the office every day. I tell you, you know this for a fact. There's some days, especially when you had a hard day before. Oh my God, I don't want to go in here. I don't want to look at Royce in his face today and talk to Royce today. I don't want to be happy today. I just want to lay around and be upset. However, that discipline is what makes me go in here. That discipline is the thing that makes me want to cultivate that relationship with Royce to make sure that we're good to go. That motivation might wean a little bit because I think what I'm saying is I believe motivation can be emotional, and emotions can get you caught up, where that discipline is more of a analytical things, like, hey, it's always got to be by the numbers. I got to get my reps. I got to get my calls. I got to cultivate this relationship. I have to do this. And here it is. And
it may just come down to what drives a person, you know, because the emotion behind whatever why they have may be the thing that keeps them going. You know, I'm going to keep making this phone call because I got to do this for my family, you know. Facts, yeah. And you have that emotion attached to it, you know. So it just all depends on what you're a disciplined person, you know. You've been disciplined for a long time. I got to get up, I got to run, you know, I got to work out, but it just all depends on
not lately.
But the challenge, you know, I'm going to the gym today. I don't know about you, but anyway,
we gonna get into it, man. You know, yeah, but definitely. So how do you feel about agents thinking about their first year agents thinking about you coming here making money? What do you say to them? Like, they come in here.
You come in when you say here, or here is the industry, or here is in Black Lion. Here as well,
the industry coming in their first year and they go, oh, I'm gonna go out here and make $100K, have $100K a year. But like coming here just sitting, you know, like they want to, you know, they think it's gonna be easy. What do you say to them?
It's not. Don't. First and foremost, if you have another stream of income, do not quit your job.
Don't do it
to do this full time
until you build that pipeline up. Don't do it.
Yeah, because you could have the motivation and the discipline that you want, but and I don't care what process you fall in, right? If you were to get something under contract right now today, you got a ratified contract, your first day in real estate, right? Which is debatable what your first day of real estate is. Is it the day that you start the class, or is it the day you get licensed? Right. Is it the day you get paid? Like, there's so many benchmarks to where you can say you're a real estate agent, right? But let's say that you got your license today. You got somebody today to sign a contract. You have 30 to 45 days to close.
And listen.
And it may or may not close.
Exactly. Because we know a lot of deals fall apart in the fourth quarter. And if that credit card bill is due on the 3rd, it's due on the 3rd. Listen, you can't tell them, I don't get a commission this month. I rolled to zero. They don't care. They want their money. So
the advice I give anybody coming in real estate is make sure that you can sustain yourself for at least 3 months. I'm not saying have another job, but definitely have a way to sustain yourself for 3 months, at least 3 months.
And when you get into the industry and you really get in, you learn how other agents learn how they create other streams of income. For a lot of agents who have been in the industry for a while, selling houses is not their sole source of income. They have investment properties, they're rehabbing houses, they have investments, you know, they're getting paid in other ways. So definitely get in and watch the seasoned agents and learn how to make some money.
Definitely, man. But that's definitely don't quit your day job to do it, because whoa, I mean, that's scary. I know for me, I mean, I'm not even in real estate, but you know, me quitting my day job. But I mean,
at some point though, when you're in real estate and you start building your business and building your pipeline, you're going to have to make a decision. Yeah. You know, when the activity increases, it's going to be difficult to give both your job or whatever it is that you're doing and real estate the same amount of attention. So at some point you're gonna have to make a decision as to what you're gonna do.
Yeah, you have those competing priorities, like I like to say, and there comes a point where You got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you're gonna have to make that decision on what do I do, because you're gonna reach a point to where you can only earn but so much income in real estate because you're half in and half out. Because there's gonna have to be something, and I know a lot of people out there have these amazing, great jobs, but it's still a point where you have to decide in or out. It just is what it is.
That's true. All facts.
And man, telling you, man, you know, that's just how it goes. Especially in business. There's be some days you got to be hungry, you know, so you got to go eat, sleep, you know.
Like Les Brown says, you gotta be hungry.
Now I'm gonna tell you something. Like, I know you guys are saying it figuratively, but I feel like that hits literally too, because it's nothing like being at the beginning of your business, the very bottom. Nobody believes in you. Nobody sees what you see, and you're struggling off of ramen noodle and ketchup, right? Because you believe in it so much, and people are turning their back, and you're literally hungry to make this dream happen. You are literally surviving off of the future or what your future could be, and being actually hungry. You know what I'm saying? People eating around you, you can't eat because you've invested your money into a camera, an ad, or something into your business, a course. Listen, that literal sense of being hungry to chase your dream really says a lot about somebody and where they're going.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, like you said, you spend that money on a course, or you're investing in yourself. You're investing in your dream. And I think that people have to be, I've heard a lot of success stories where people invested in their dream and they invested in themselves, and, you know, no one believed in their vision, but, you know, ultimately in the long run, they ended up being where they dreamed they would be. So believe in yourself.
So I feel like, are we in the Q&A part of this? Because I feel
basically it's the Q&A part.
Okay, because I keep on looking back.
Yeah, no. It wasn't like the official Q&A, but you're definitely,
all right,
definitely in the Q&A part. But yeah, man, I mean, definitely, you know, like Shan said, being hungry, man, that's definitely like,
you gotta be hungry.
I feel like what Carrie said, like investing your thing in like an ad or a camera, like invest. I feel like if you had to choose between investments or eating that day, that's what really shows if you want it bad enough. If you go put that investment before you put that before your stomach, then you want that
it bad.
Yeah, you want it bad.
And listen, so I look at a lot of, especially on TikTok and Instagram, where you have these moguls saying, use somebody else's money, listen, there comes a time where using your own money says a lot about it.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, investors will tell you it's best if you use other people's money. I got it. But there comes a time when your money speaks volume about what you like. How much do you believe in your own project if you don't want to put your own money up?
Absolutely. And if you don't believe in it, how you gonna convince an investor to believe in it, to put their money into it?
Yeah, because definitely, man. Shoot. Man, sometimes, man, you would like, man, that little cheeseburger look good, but you know, next week you got a big thing coming up. You know, you need to put your ads out, and that's gonna make you double the money. I feel like investments, they gonna make you, they gonna take you to the next level and take your business to the next level, make you way more money than have a cheeseburger. So,
but
investing in yourself, always investing in yourself.
I think they have to be, yeah, absolutely. But I think they have to be strategic investments.
Yeah,
you know, don't just be randomly throwing money at stuff.
So I was talking to my son yesterday, and my son tells me, "Hey, Dad, I'm looking for a job." He's in high school. "Hey, Dad, I'm looking for a job." "That's what's up. What you need a job for?" He said, "Well, I want to make more money." I said, "Okay, well, make more money. That's what's up. What are you gonna do with the money?" He was like, "Well, I just need to have money, so I need to save more." And I was like, "Well, that's great, but how are you gonna save?" He said, "Well, I'm gonna put it in the bank." Well, you're not really. You know, you kind of losing money at that point. You're not really saving.
I mean,
right?
You get 0.2% back, but you know, that ain't nothing.
0.02. It's not 0.02. Right? So we didn't get a chance to finish the conversation, but you know, having that conversation with him, make your money work for you while you're at work, right? Both of you should be working the same time, right? So for you, you should be putting your money in a money market, IRA, this, that, and the third. And I'm saying all this because there's a lot of people out there that are shotgun investing, like AMC's that new hot thing. Let's jump on AMC, or this ticker is at this right now. Jump on that. That's zero purpose. You have zero purpose at that point. So making sure that you actually have a purpose in what you're doing. To your point, that's powerful, because there are a lot of people out there that are going to tell you about all their sexy investments. Nobody's going to tell you about their boring CDs.
Exactly.
Or
that they've had for 25, 30 years.
Right. Or nobody's going to tell you. You're going to hear people talk about that one flip that they got 100,000 on, but they're not going to tell you about that house that they held for 7 years that yielded them more. They're not going to tell you stuff like that, because a lot of people don't want to hear about the boring investments, which are the ones that's really earning you the money. They want to tell you about the cool, sexy stuff, and everybody wants to jump on the cool, sexy stuff. And man, listen, to me, if you don't have a purpose with your investments, you might as well just go down to the casino, bet it all on black.
Like that house that your grandma bought. I saw a meme, a house that your grandma bought for $79 and sold it for 600% more than what they paid for it. That's a boring investment. They had that house for 40 years. When they sold it, they made $400,000 on it.
That's a boring investment.
But I mean, wouldn't that be considered generational wealth, right?
I mean, it depends on how you break it down and the tax, yada yada yada. But what we're getting at is what people think is fun and sexy might not be the way. And don't go out there looking for fun and sexy. There are times when you do fun and sexy. There's times when you have a good story, but just understand that having a purpose with your investments definitely works.
Absolutely.
Definitely. But I mean, I think that's the Q&A. I mean, we got some questions, but we a little bit over. So I think you about to go ahead and shut this joint down. Now we do have a new thing coming up. So now on the Black Lion Instagram page, we gonna start posting Q&A every Monday. Start posting that.
Is it going to be a live or how?
No, it's going to be on Instagram. So it'll be on the story. So they'll type in questions and they'll answer them on live. So if you wanted your question to be answered, you go on the Black Line Instagram on our story on Monday. Monday probably around. Well, we forgot the date, but on Monday, you go to Black Line story. We'll have a question Q&A up there. You put your question in, and we'll try to get to it on the next live. But yeah, that's definitely what we gonna do. If we ain't got nothing else to talk about or any special events or anything,
so I would say this: please let us know how we're doing. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know how we're doing. If there's something we could do better, please let us know, because we are definitely here
for the feedback.
And the people. I'm a retired senior non-commissioned officer, so I like a good after-action review. So definitely let us know how we can improve, what things we could do better, and it won't hurt our feelings.
I don't know about an after-action review. I've never had to do that in the civilian sector. However, we work very well with feedback. I guess that's the after-action review. Let us know what we could do better. We absolutely are open to the feedback and understanding what it is that you guys want. So.
We definitely gonna try to get that live going, like the actual live, live video, tuning in, going sometime later this month. But what we doing.
Listen, because Royce always likes this, right? I'm gonna do this for Royce.
Oh my goodness, man.
Hey, listen, we see y'all seeing us.
Oh yeah. We see all y'all.
We see people out there seeing us, and listen, we appreciate the flattery, and we truly thank you for going out there and making yourselves more creative. And following the lead of what you see and what you hear, and we appreciate it. So for all those For all those out there with the rap trucks, the podcast rooms, and the this, that, and the third, hey, welcome to the game.
For sure, you got to compete with us, bro. We in the game. We've been in the game longer, man. You got to compete with us.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you, and to the friends, family. Don't always believe when they say they were first.
Exactly.
Yeah, you make sure you cut your part out.
What level?
you cut your part out.
All right, man. Well, shoot. That's Blackline Live on September 6th, Wednesday. See y'all next week.
Yeah, that's it. That's a wrap.
For sure.